You might think a woman who has completely moved on simply disappears into thin air, leaving no trace of her emotional past behind. But the human heart is terrible at keeping secrets, especially when it is pretending to be indifferent. Long after a relationship ends, a woman who is still bound to you by unhealed emotion will drop subtle, almost invisible breadcrumbs that reveal precisely where her heart still sits. She might tell her friends she has turned the page. She might post photos that scream freedom. But if you know how to read between the lines, her true feelings are written in plain sight. Understanding human psychology after a breakup reveals a fascinating truth. Indifference is quiet, but hidden attachment is loud, strategic, and remarkably persistent. When someone truly stops caring about you, you become neutral to them, like a background character in a movie they watched years ago. However, when those emotional roots still run deep, every action she takes, even the ones meant to show you she doesn't care, is actually designed with you in mind. The first undeniable sign appears in the way she manages her anger and resentment toward you. True closure looks like calm neutrality, but lingering emotion almost always disguises itself as active hostility or unresolved bitterness. Consider the story of an art curator who spent months trying to convince her colleagues that she had completely forgotten about a rivalry with a former partner. Yet, every time his name was brought up in casual conversation, her posture stiffened, her tone sharpened, and she effortlessly launched into a detailed critique of his recent work. She believed she was demonstrating her superiority, but everyone in the room could see that he still dominated her thoughts. If a woman continually brings up your past mistakes, speaks about you with intense friction, or goes out of her way to remind people how badly you treated her, she is not over you. She is actively nursing a flame that hasn't burned out. The second sign manifests in the psychological phenomenon of digital proximity and phantom presence. In a world governed by screens, watching someone's life from afar has become the ultimate coping mechanism for those who cannot let go. A woman who is genuine about moving forward naturally creates space. She mutes, unfollows, or simply stops engaging with your digital footprint. But when she is still attached, she remains a silent observer. She is consistently among the very first people to view your updates, or paradoxically, she engages in a cycle of blocking and unblocking you, swinging between wanting to erase you and needing to know what you are doing. This hot and cold digital behavior is a clear reflection of an internal battle between her pride and her persistent attachment. The third sign is seen in the subtle, strategic ways. She keeps indirect lines of communication alive. Human beings who are trying to maintain a bridge will rarely burn the foundations entirely. Instead of reaching out directly, which might hurt her pride or expose her vulnerability, she will leverage mutual acquaintances, shared social circles, or casual inquiries. She might ask a mutual friend how you are doing under the guise of simple politeness, or she might conveniently show up at locations she knows you frequent. Think of a traveler who claims he has no desire to return to a country he once visited, yet constantly chooses layovers in its central airport just to catch a glimpse of the skyline. When her environment consistently overlaps with yours by pure coincidence, it is rarely accidental. It is an instinctual effort to stay within your orbit. The fourth sign lies in her reaction to your progress and new beginnings. When a person has truly processed a breakup, seeing their former partner move forward with life, career, or new relationships evokes little to no emotional charge. But when emotional threads remain intact, your growth feels like a personal threat or a final closing of a door she secretly hoped would stay ajar. If she suddenly resurfaces precisely when you achieve a major milestone, or if she adopts a competitive stance by instantly trying to showcase an upgraded life of her own the moment she sees you thriving, her actions are fueled by your trajectory. She is using your life as the benchmark for her own emotional processing. Consider the dynamic of two marathon runners who spent years training side by side. When one runner decides to take a completely different path, a truly detached partner simply focuses on their own rhythm and lane. But a runner who is still obsessed with the other's presence will constantly look over their shoulder, adjusting their pace purely based on how fast or slow the other person is moving. A woman who crafts her public image, her social life, or her personal decisions as a direct reaction to what you are doing is still letting you set the tempo of her life. The fifth sign reveals itself through the preservation of sentimental tokens and shared history. True detachment allows a person to pack away memories without dramatic display. However, when she holds on to specific items, continues to use pet names casually during necessary interactions, or references internal jokes from the past out of nowhere, she is attempting to reactivate the emotional code of your previous connection. These small triggers are designed to test your temperature and see if the old dynamic can still be summoned with a few choice words. The sixth sign is an over-exaggerated projection of happiness and rapid movement. There is a vast psychological difference between quiet, authentic healing and loud, performative moving on. When someone is genuinely content, they don't feel the compelling need to broadcast every minor triumph to the world. If she suddenly shifts her lifestyle into overdrive, constantly posting staged moments of absolute euphoria, reckless adventure, or immediate new romantic interests with unnatural speed, it is often a defensive shield. It is an active attempt to convince you, and more importantly, to convince herself that she is entirely untouched by the loss. The seventh and final sign is her inability to offer true, neutral finality when given the opportunity. When direct contact does happen, whether by chance or necessity, her energy is charged rather than balanced. Instead of a calm, polite exchange that naturally fades into polite silence, the interaction either lingers unnecessarily or devolves into deep, emotional debates about what went wrong months or years ago. Reopening old arguments is a classic psychological defense mechanism to keep the connection alive, because to her, negative emotional engagement feels vastly safer than the complete coldness of moving on. Recognizing these patterns isn't about feeding your ego or keeping score. It is about understanding the deep, complex nature of human attachment and emotional processing. When you can see through the performance and recognize the underlying truth of how people react to loss, you gain absolute clarity over your own path forward. You stop reacting to the noise and start operating from a place of deep self-awareness and quiet strength. If this breakdown brought you valuable perspective and helped you see human behavior through a clearer lens today, do not leave without subscribing to the channel right now. By subscribing, you join an elite community dedicated to mastering personal psychology, emotional intelligence, and unwavering self-mastery. Hit that subscribe button immediately, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and let us continue this journey of growth together.